And our next speaker is, do those three words evoke sheer terror for you? Are you fearful of public speaking? In this video, we're going to talk about the fear of public speaking and give you 12 tools that you can turn to help turn that fear into excitement. You know, every year, a newspaper always has that survey, what's your greatest fear? And it seems that year after year after year, the number one fear is public speaking. It always seems to even come before death. You know, it's like the Seinfeld reference that most people at a eulogy would rather be in the casket than speaking the eulogy. But it doesn't have to be that way. Public speaking is incredibly important. I've seen so many people's advancement in their careers held up because of this fear. Today, I want to cover 12 tools, 12 practical tools that can help you change that fear and turn it around, that you can be a little more comfortable when it comes to public speaking. Number one is know your symptoms. The emotion of fear evokes within us a set of bodily reactions. And we can know what those reactions are. When we're fearful, we feel that our body becomes more tense. We feel sick and nauseous at times. We begin to sweat. We begin to shake. All of those are our body's way of telling us that we are fearful. You know, that was a wonderful, wonderful mechanism back when we were cavemen and cavewomen. It helped us deal with the threats in our lives. But nowadays, the threat may be that I have to speak in front of these people, and our body still reacts as if we are under attack. So just know those symptoms. Be able to say to ourselves, my body is reacting as if I'm under threat. And while I'm afraid of this speaking opportunity, I have to realize that it's not a life and a death situation. Number two is use the power of visualization. We have incredible power within us to visualize how things ought to be. Elite athletes use this all the time. I was at a workshop last week where surgeons told me before their surgery, they visualize each and every step of that surgery. And so it comes as well with public speaking. What I want you to do is visualize your public speaking opportunity and visualize how wonderful it is. I want you to visualize in as full a detail as possible. I want you to smell, to touch, to see people. I want you to see the confidence within you. I want you to visualize the people in the audience who are responding, who are clapping, who are laughing at your speaking. And we know that there are two key moments when it comes to visualization: before we go to bed and as we wake up in the morning. So one tool that you might want to consider is this visualization. Before you go to bed, an important presentation that you have, or the morning of the presentation, try and visualize in vivid detail that going as well as can be possibly expected. Number three, I want you to ban a word. You are never, ever allowed to say nervous. If we focus on our nervousness, if we focus on our fear, that is where we put our brain's attention. One of the ways I like to reframe this is, I have lots of energy. This is energy which we've decided to call nervousness. But we can reframe that and just say, I have lots of energy, pent-up energy about this speaking opportunity. Because in a certain way, we need a little bit of nervous energy. We need some of this energy because it can help us perform at our peak. I've been speaking for many, many years, and still every single speaking opportunity that I have, I am always full of butterflies and energy. But I know that energy helps me to speak to the peak of my ability. So therefore, instead of calling yourself nervous or fearful, just say, wow, I have lots of energy, but you know what? This energy can help me be a better speaker. Number four is the power of breath. Yes, whenever we're triggered and whenever we're in a fear situation, we are in a fight or flight situation. And we want to deactivate that fight or flight and become calm. And breathing is the way that we do this. It moves us from our sympathetic nervous system to our parasympathetic nervous system. What that means is we move away from fight or flight and we move into calm. So breathing can be an important way to help us to calm down and to refocus and repoint the energy that we're feeling. Number 5 is the posture that we take. You know, a lot of the research of Amy Cuddy has helped us once again consider the power of posture and how posture can impact our felt confidence level. So therefore, be cognizant of the space that you are taking. Very often, if we are feeling afraid, we take up less space. It's like a tortoise retracting its head. But when we feel more confident, we expand and we take up more space. So therefore, for a few minutes before your talk, I suggest that you go and you do a power pose, become Superman, Superwoman, stretch out. Let that felt confidence experience expand within you and use the power of pose to overcome the nerves. Number 6 is preparation. You know, the last thing that we need to worry about is the content of what we're speaking about. And so therefore I say, practice at least 6 times. Practice to the point where you're not worried about the content, but rather you can focus on the delivery. You can focus on the people who are there in the audience. When you take away the fear of perhaps missing a place or the fear of forgetting your material, you add a little bit of extra confidence, and it can help with some of the nerves that we're feeling. Number 7 is structure the content of your talk to help you be successful. What do I mean by that? You know, very often I'll look at people who are preparing their presentations and they're a little all over the place. I always like to say, try and build your presentation around 3 main points, because it's much easier to remember the flow of 3 main points. And likewise, there's the added bonus. It's much easier for your audience to remember the 3 main points as they leave as well. And after all, that's what good presentations are about. It's about giving the audience a structure that helps them remember their key points. And if also that helps you remember as well, then both sides are winners. Number 8 is remember. The audience is not there to see you fail. They really do not want to see a poor public speaker. What they want is that you're successful. What they want is that they have a meaningful presentation that gives them material that is impactful. So change the focus. Instead of the focus being on you failing, try and focus on the gift that you are giving the audience, that the material that you have has the potential to impact their thinking and impact their behavior. That way, the focus is exactly directed where it should be, rather than on your nerves, on the gift that you're giving. Number 9 is arrive enough time to get yourself settled to know that everything is in order. It happened to me a few days ago that I arrived and the audio visuals were not working. Now, luckily, I'd arrived an hour beforehand and we could get them sorted out. But imagine if I'd arrived 10 minutes before the talk, then I would be full of anxiety trying to get this problem solved and also welcome people who are coming to the presentation. So the point here is arrive in time. Don't let the audiovisual, don't let the computer, don't let the PowerPoint, don't let anything that you are using come in the way and adding to your anxiety. Have it sorted out. Be there, be present, so that you're able to turn to some other things like breathing, etc., so that you can relax before the presentation. Number 10, be careful what you eat or drink, because it impacts our energy and it also impacts our speaking voice potentially. Many people report that if they take dairy, that it adds to the phlegm in their throat and can impact the quality of their voice. Never drink ice cold water because it contracts the vocal cords. Always drink lukewarm water. So be careful what you eat and drink. It will protect the greatest gift that you have, which is the gift of your voice. Use the power of music or exercise. You know, music can get us going. Music can get us excited. I always love to listen to upbeat music on the way to a presentation because it gets me jazzed, it gets me energetic. And remember that energy is important for a presentation. Or if you're worked up and you need to be a little more calm, music as well can soothe. Music can calm us. So use the power of music to combat some of the nerves. And 12th, and finally, think of the big picture. As of yet, I have not encountered a case that someone died while giving a presentation. Yep, that's right. And sometimes we make it life or death. We have to have the ability to insert a little bit of humor. After all, what is the worst thing that can happen? If your talk fails, so what? People will get over it. Believe me, when people leave the presentation, inside 20 minutes, their minds are distracted by all sorts of other things. So stop making it the center of the world. Stop making it the most important thing. Some of the training work that I do is a speaker's training camp, which is a 2-day intensive workshop on public speaking. And I encounter many people who come terrified of the thought of speaking, and they leave with some concrete tools and the ability to step out of the box and to be more comfortable in speaking. And for them, it's transformational because it has been a barrier to leadership success, because as we climb up the leadership ladder, we're called upon to speak more and more. Each one of us can integrate simple tools that will help us deal with the anxiety we feel. One of the tools that I created was called the 7-second reset. That can easily be used just before we talk or during a presentation to help us refocus and reset. If you're interested in accessing that tool, please go to the website below, sign up, and receive a daily email which will help you emotionally reset and have greater confidence, especially when you have presentations.